You're fat, you're lazy, you have no self-control. Why don't you just eat less and move more? Do you realise what you look like? Being fat is being a victim to the last widely accepted prejudice. Barely anyone raises an eyebrow when comment is made about a person's size. Barely anyone will intervene and defend you. There are several widely believed stereotypes associated with being overweight, and they're all wrong. In this video, the second part of my discussion regarding the health disaster that has already begun, I'm going to show you the solution to the problem. I'm going to show you how you've been given bad advice, told the wrong things, and followed the wrong science. If you're overweight, if someone you love is overweight, if diets have never worked for you, you need to watch this. Welcome to the Exante Diet Expert channel. So in the first video, I explained how insulin has tried to control blood sugar, but was eventually swamped with all the sugar present in our modern diet. I explained how medical practitioners are treating the symptoms and not the disease, and fobbing off the patients, sending us away with a repeat prescription for metformin, telling us that there is no cure, that we have, in effect, a terminal illness, because left untreated, the disease will find a way of killing us. Now, nobody dies of diabetes. They die of an illness that develops as a result of being diabetic. Heart disease, stroke, Alzheimer's, vascular dementia, often known as diabetes type 3, cancers, obesity, take your pick. They are all provoked by being diabetic. Add to that blindness, nerve damage, kidney disease, impotence, gangrene and amputations, and your retirement years don't look quite so much like the TV adverts now, do they? So, what's the solution? How can it be possible that the doctors have got it wrong and a taxi driver from Somerset has got it right? Well, to be fair, I'm just repeating the information that is freely available, medically proven, and a lot easier than you might think. The solution really is quite simple. If your hand is in the fire, you either take your hand out or you extinguish the fire. You don't do the equivalent of what our doctors are doing, handing you a glove. The problem isn't fatness. Fatness appeared as a result of your body trying to cope with an overload. The problem isn't your liver or pancreas. Now, they function perfectly throughout and can still do exactly that. The problem isn't insulin. You still produce insulin, even though you're diabetic, and you still produce it in sufficient quantities. Well, quantities to cope with normal life. It was responsible for the fat and even for sending out hormones to tell you to eat more to replace the fuel burn because it had locked the doors to all of your energy storage. The problem is the carbohydrates, and that's what we need to address. We need to revert back to a diet from before that our grandparents ate, before we all got so damn busy that we needed someone else to make all our food. Because they're poisoning us. We need to take back control of what we eat and drink. And once we've done that, we take back control of our blood sugar. And things can then repair themselves, and they will do. Fat will be burned, energy will return, and medication can stop. We can eat protein. Protein is broken down more slowly than our carbohydrates, so it causes much less of a spike in blood sugar. We can eat fats. They're vital for our system and the preferred energy source for our muscles. Our bodies don't actually need carbohydrates to be brought into the system. Our bodies are quite capable of making glucose through a process known as, are you ready, gluconeogenesis, where fat is converted to oxaloacetate and then to glucose. Thanks for sticking with me. Currently, both the NHS and the American health system recommend that 60% of daily calories are obtained from carbohydrates. This is swamping us. There's a growing number of healthcare professionals that have realised that this reliance on carbs is pretty much wrong at every level. Our diet should consist of meat, poultry, fish, plenty of calorie-rich fats, and only a limited amount of fruit and vegetables. And people that are insulin resistant or full-blown diabetic need to avoid carbs wherever possible in order to prevent sugar spikes and to allow the body to heal. Weight will drop as long as calories remain in deficit, which will allow the body to use its fat reserves for the shortfall. This is why carbs must be avoided, as the insulin will switch off your fat burning capabilities again. And here's one last thing. You're going to need to consider intermittent fasting. Now, this doesn't mean going for days and days without eating. In fact, it doesn't mean going for a single day without eating. But it involves eating within a specific time frame of the day. And it involves allowing your body to deal with everything else outside of that time frame. When it needs energy, it's got fat to burn. You won't starve and you will feel more energized. It's remarkable how much better you're going to feel when you're no longer being poisoned. One of the things that people tend to say when they're into intermittent fasting is that they feel more able to think. The brain fog has lifted. So eat within a 6 or 8 hour window. Eat sensibly. You aren't preparing for hibernation. It may take you a little time to get used to it, and allow yourself that time to get used to it. But as you've already proved by still being alive, in spite of the turmoil your sugar-based diet caused yourself, your body is nothing if not adaptable. You will feel better. You will lose weight. Your health will improve. And in many cases, your diabetes will disappear. So much for an irreversible disease, huh? Exercise of some form is also going to have to form a part of your new life. But remember, you've got more energy. Remember that cortisol that was pumped out by your insulin sending out the alarm call? Cortisol is a stress hormone, and stress hormones make you store fat. But exercise restores cortisol to normal levels, unless the exercise you're taking part in is being chased by a lion or something. That's pretty stressful. And sleep. Sleep allows your body to heal. It allows your body to burn fat. It's clear that your life needs to change. I think you'll agree. If you're overweight, if you're fat, if you're diabetic, if you're stressed, and if you're tired, it needs to change. Thank you for listening. Chat soon.